Welcome to the deep dive. First off, a big thank you to our sponsor, pharmaaiacademy.com.
Great to be here.
So today we're digging into a really interesting book, Leading Digital, Turning Technology into Business Transformation. It's by George Westerman, Didier Bonnet, and Andrew McAfee.
That's right. It's a foundational text, really.
Absolutely. And think of this discussion as, a curated tour through its core ideas, a bit of a shortcut maybe to grasp how businesses are really transforming today.
But definitely just a shortcut. If this sparks your interest, you really should grab the book itself for the full depth.
Exactly. Highly recommended. So the central theme, I guess, is that technology isn't just a helper anymore, is it?
No, not at all. It's really the engine driving fundamental business change now. The book makes that case very strongly.
And the successful companies, the ones they call digital masters, what makes them different?
Well, it boils down to a combination. They excel by having, strong digital capabilities and equally strong leadership capability. It's both together.
So it's not just about buying the latest shiny tech?
Definitely not. It's about vision, how you manage it, and getting the technology working in concert with the business goals.
Okay, so that sounds like a good place to start. You mentioned this combination. The book has a framework for that, right? The Digital Mastery Matrix.
Yes, exactly. It's quite an elegant little framework, actually. Simple, but powerful.
Tell us about it. What are the components?
So it plots companies on two axes. First is digital capability, basically. How good are you at using tech for customer stuff, internal operations, and, your business model itself?
Okay, the what of technology is.
Right. And the second axis is leadership capability. This is about how well the company's leadership can actually envision the digital future and then, crucially, drive the necessary changes to get there.
The how of making it happen.
You got it. Vision and execution on the leadership side.
And when you put those two together on a grid, you get different categories.
Yep. 4 basic types emerge. You've got your beginners. They're sort of low on both axes. Not much tech capability, not much driving leadership.
Okay, starting point for many, I suppose.
Then you have the Fashionistas. These companies might be really into the latest tech trends, lots of shiny objects.
High on the tech axis.
But low on the leadership capability.
Yeah.
They lack the vision or the management skill to really make that tech investment pay off strategically.
Interesting. So tech without direction, what's next?
The opposite, in a way. The conservatives. They might have pretty solid leadership, maybe good traditional management, but they're slow or hesitant when it comes to adopting and leveraging digital tech.
Okay, good leadership, but maybe too cautious with the technology side.
Exactly. And the goal, the place everyone wants to be, is the digital masters quadrant. Strong on both digital capability and leadership capability.
Right, they've got the tech chops and the leadership to make it work. That makes sense.
It really clarifies the target state for organizations looking to transform.
So does the book provide evidence that becoming a digital master actually, pays off? What's the advantage?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They kick things off with some pretty stark numbers in Chapter 1.
Like what?
Well, companies identified as leading in digital transformation, the digital masters, they see significantly higher performance. We're talking, on average, around 23% higher revenue generation.
23%. Wow.
And about 26% higher profitability compared to their industry peers who are lagging behind digitally.
Okay, those are not small numbers. That's a real, tangible advantage.
It really underscores that this isn't just hype, it's driving serious business value.
And they use examples to bring this to life, right? I remember reading about Burberry.
Burberry is a fantastic case study they highlight early on. A traditional luxury brand, but they really embraced digital transformation.
How so? What did they do?
They used social media really effectively to connect with younger customers. They built a very sophisticated e-commerce experience. And importantly, they integrated digital tech into their physical stores too.
So bridging the online and offline worlds.
Precisely. It wasn't just a website tacked on. It was a fundamental rethink of the customer experience, all driven by a clear digital vision from the top.
That's a powerful example, especially in luxury. So let's dig into how digital changes the core of a business. The book mentions 3 pillars of digital capability.
That's right. Chapter 2 lays these out. The first pillar is customer experience.
Okay, makes sense. That's usually front and center.
Yeah, and it's about using digital tools for deep personalization, understanding the entire customer journey, not just isolated touch points. Think about Nike.
Nike? How so?
Well, moved beyond just selling you shoes. They built this whole digital ecosystem, right? Nike plus Arty, the apps for running, training. It connects them to the customer continuously.
Right, creating ongoing engagement, not just a transaction.
Exactly. It's about building that relationship through digital means.
Okay, so customer experience is pillar one. What's the second?
The second is operational processes. This is more inward-looking, focusing on using technology to make the company run better.
Like efficiency, automation.
Yeah, exactly. Automation of tasks, improving internal collaboration, using data to streamline workflows.
Yeah.
Amazon is kind of the poster child here.
Their logistics are legendary.
Right. World-class operations, heavily driven by technology, and a relentless focus on using data to optimize everything behind the scenes. That operational excellence is a huge competitive advantage.
So smoothing out the internal workings to deliver better externally. Makes sense. And the third pillar?
The third pillar is business models. This is arguably the most transformative one. It's about using digital to fundamentally rethink how the company creates, delivers, and even captures value.
Okay, so this isn't just improving what you do, it's potentially doing completely new things.
Precisely. It could involve creating new digital products or services, shifting to platform models, participating in broader ecosystems.
Yeah.
Think about Zipcar.
Ah, the car sharing service.
Yeah. They didn't just make renting cars online easier. They used a digital platform to completely change the model of car ownership and usage for many people. That's business model reinvention.
Okay, customer experience, operational processes, business models. Those three really cover the landscape. Now let's switch back to that other crucial axis leadership capability. What does it take to lead this kind of transformation?
Right, that's part 2 of the book. And the first big piece they emphasize is crafting a digital vision.
A vision, not just a plan.
Exactly. It's not just about upgrading old systems. True digital leaders reimagine what the business could be in the future, leveraging digital possibilities. And critically, that vision needs to be exciting, compelling enough to get everyone on board.
Can you give an example?
Caesars Entertainment is one they mentioned. They use data analytics, not just for efficiency, but to craft a vision of a totally personalized guest experience, from room offers to what games you might like. It was transformative.
So a bold, data-driven picture of the future. But having a vision is one thing.
Yeah.
How do you get a whole organization moving towards it?
That's the next challenge. Engaging the organization at scale. This is chapter 4. Technology alone won't cut it.
Right, the culture point again.
Absolutely. You need a shift in culture. You need much stronger collaboration across departments. Silos are killers for digital transformation.
So breaking down those walls between, say, IT and marketing or operations and sales.
Exactly. They use the example of Codelco, a big Chilean mining company. They made a point of involving frontline workers in designing and rolling out new tech initiatives.
Instead of just imposing it from the top down?
Right. And because the workers felt involved and saw the benefits, it led to real productivity boosts. Engagement is key.
That makes a lot of sense, involving the people who actually do the work. What about the formal side? Structures, processes.
Yeah, that's crucial too. Chapter 5 covers governing digital activities. You need clear rules of the road.
Meaning
Clear roles, responsibilities, who makes which decisions about digital projects, how resources are allocated. It can get messy fast without good governance.
I can imagine. Competing projects, unclear ownership.
Exactly. The book suggests things like creating centralized digital units or centers of excellence. These can help balance the need for innovation and agility with the need for some level of control and coordination.
Finding that balance. Okay, so let's maybe circle back and go a bit deeper on those 3 capability pillars now, starting with the customer experience. What are the key elements there today?
Well, a huge thing now is the omni-channel experience. Customers really expect seamlessness.
Seamlessness across, the app, the website, in-store.
Exactly. They want to start something on their phone, maybe continue it on their laptop, walk into a store, and have the company know who they are and what they were doing. It needs to feel like one continuous conversation.
That sounds challenging to deliver.
It is. It relies heavily on mobile tech, smart use of social media for engagement, and crucially, data analytics to understand behavior and personalize those interactions across all channels.
Who does this well?
Starbucks is a classic example they often bring up. Their mobile app is central, isn't it? Loyalty, ordering ahead, payments.
Yeah.
It integrates the digital and physical experience really smoothly.
Yeah, their app is pretty slick. Okay, what about diving deeper into transforming operational processes? What does that involve?
2 main thrusts there, really. One is improving internal collaboration, using enterprise social tools, shared data platforms, anything that breaks down silos and gets information flowing better between teams.
So people working together more effectively using digital tools.
Right. And the second thrust is really digitizing core processes. This is where automation comes in, maybe AI for certain tasks, streamlining workflows to make them faster, cheaper, less error-prone.
Any examples?
Volvo IT is one they mentioned. They undertook a major effort to digitize their service processes, moving away from paper and manual steps, which really improved efficiency and how quickly they could respond to issues.
Tangible benefits there? Speed, cost, accuracy. And finally, let's revisit business model reinvention in a bit more detail. What forms does that take?
It's quite varied. One avenue is ecosystem innovation. This is where you partner with other companies, maybe even competitors sometimes, to create a combined offering that's more valuable than what you could do alone.
Okay, working with others.
Another big one is platform business models. Think Airbnb, Uber, Amazon Marketplace. Creating platforms that connect different groups, like buyers and sellers or drivers and riders, and facilitating interactions between them.
Right, enabling value creation by others on your platform.
Exactly. And then there's just developing completely new digital products and services, often leveraging data in new ways. We mentioned Zipcar earlier, shifting from owning grinting assets to providing access via a digital membership model is a prime example of that fundamental change.
It really opens up the definition of what a company is or does. Okay, this is all great, but for a company listening, maybe feeling a bit behind the curve, where do they even start? How do you begin this journey to become a digital master?
Yeah, that's a key question, addressed in part 4. The book is clear. There's no single right place to start for everyone.
It depends.
It really depends on where you are in that matrix. Are you a beginner needing foundational capabilities? A fashionista needing leadership? A conservative needing to embrace tech more?
So step 1 is figuring out where you actually stand.
Absolutely. A critical first step they recommend is conducting a thorough digital maturity assessment. You need an honest, objective look at your current digital and leadership capabilities across the organization. Identify the real gaps.
Okay, assess first. Then what? Once you know where the gaps are, how do you actually drive the change?
The advice is generally to start small and scale. Don't try to boil the ocean. Launch focused pilot projects to test specific ideas or technologies. Learn quickly from those pilots.
And then?
Then, importantly, scale up what works. Don't let successful pilots just wither away. You also need to invest in building digital literacy among your leaders and managers. They need to understand this stuff.
So they can lead effectively.
Right. And fostering a culture that encourages calculated risk-taking is vital. You have to be willing to experiment and sometimes fail to find the breakthroughs.
Okay, pilots, scaling, literacy, risk-taking. Does the book offer like a final playbook or set of guiding principles?
Yes. The last chapter outlines what they call the digital transformation playbook. Some key elements really stand out.
Such as?
Unwavering commitment from the very top, especially the CEO. Their visible support is non-negotiable.
Gotta have the boss on board.
Absolutely. Then investing seriously in upgrading the digital skills of your workforce.
Yeah.
It's not just about leaders. Everyone needs to adapt.
Training and development across the board.
Yes. And finally, constantly reinforcing the new culture. Celebrate the wins, even small ones. Talk openly about what was learned from experiments that didn't pan out. Make the change feel real and continuous.
It really sounds like the people and culture side are just as, if not more, important than the tech itself.
I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from the book, definitely.
Now, along this journey, are there common mistakes or traps companies fall into?
Oh, for sure. The book explicitly warns about a couple. We touched on them earlier with The Matrix. There's the fashionista trap.
Right? Chasing shiny objects?
Yeah, investing heavily in trendy tech without a clear strategy for how it actually drives business value. Lots of activity, maybe not much impact.
And the other trap?
The conservative trap. Being too slow, too cautious, too risk-averse. You might avoid mistakes, but you also miss opportunities and risk getting left behind by more agile competitors.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, being strategic but also bold enough to move.
Exactly. Strategic innovation, not just random acts of digital.
Okay, as we start to wrap up our deep dive into leading digital, could you just quickly recap maybe 2 or 3 of the absolute core messages for listeners to take away?
Sure. I think, first, really internalize that digital transformation is business transformation. It's not an IP thing off to the side. It changes everything.
Fundamental change. Got it.
Second, remember that culture eats technology for breakfast, basically. A supportive, adaptive, collaborative culture is arguably more critical than having the absolute latest gadget.
Culture first.
Okay. Third, leadership is the indispensable ingredient. You need that vision, that commitment, that drive from the top to make transformation happen and stick. Without it, initiatives tend to fizzle out.
Leadership as the catalyst.
And maybe a final one. Becoming a digital master isn't a destination you arrive at. It's an ongoing journey of assessment, learning, adapting. The landscape keeps changing.
Continuous improvement and adaptation. Those are really powerful takeaways. Thank you so much for walking us through the key ideas of leading digital.
My pleasure. It's a really insightful book.
It truly is. And we really hope this overview has given you, our listeners, some valuable insights into how technology and leadership need to come together today. Just a reminder, this is a summary to get the full picture. We definitely encourage you to buy the book, Leading Digital.
Absolutely worth the read.
And one final thank you to our sponsor, pharmaaiacademy.com. So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about your own organization or context. Where do you see the biggest disconnects or perhaps the biggest opportunities for truly blending strong digital capabilities with that crucial leadership element to drive real, meaningful change? Something to ponder.